Hello and welcome to this BuyBotPro video. So today we're going to be focusing on BuyBotGo, and what we're going to be talking about is the chart section within BuyBotGo. Now BuyBotGo is the free mobile app that comes as part of your BuyBotPro subscription. So what you need to do is, once you've analysed a product, whether you've scanned it or it's in your history, then put it in your main page and then press on charts. So when you have charts, you'll have something like this show up. So this shows historical data for the item that you're analyzing, meaning that you can get a visual representation of what has been going on with the item over the course of different time periods. So right now we're on 90 days, but we could look at 30, 180, 367. It is completely up to you. You have the option of all time. So this is for how long the item has been available on Amazon for, and there's lots of different options there. So let's switch it back to 90 days. And there's so much that we can see in this chart. So we can see price, trends, fluctuations. We can see how the BSR changes. We can see how the buy box fluctuates over time. So there's lots of different things that we can see in this chart. Now what we can do is we can pinch the screen and expand a certain section, so that way we can look at it in a lot more detail. So we can really narrow down a time period, and if we press on a certain section, we get a breakdown box like so, which tells us everything that was happening at that exact moment in time. We can move this chart, we can pinch it and squeeze it to make the chart a bit bigger so we can see more in the time period that we've selected, and we can tidy this up by turning off the various toggles at the bottom. So let's say we aren't concerned with FBM, we don't need to look at BSR right now, and we'll turn off lowest new. So we can see that the Amazon line and the buy box line, the buy box dots should I say, have been lining up for a lot of the time, and we can see that when we press on a certain point, the buy box and the Amazon pricing often seems to line up. So it looks like for this period of time, Amazon have been heavily dominating this space on the listing by having the same price as the buy box. So Amazon have the buy box for that period of time that we're looking at. Now there's lots of different reasons for why one could win the buy box, but a common reason could be because they've set the lowest new price on the item, therefore it's more competitive. And when we turn on the lowest new line, as you can see there, it does often line up at many points where Amazon and the buy box also line up on the chart. We can turn off a couple more toggles. So let's look at BSR now, just as another example of something that we can check. So the BSR line is great for helping us judge how well an item sells and how popular an item is. So what you want from this line ideally is for it to be as close to the bottom of the chart as possible, and for it to have a lot of movement. So for every bit of movement, even the smallest bit, that means there's been at least one sell for the item. It could be more than one, but at least one. So lots of movement equals lots of sales. And again, we can zoom into this to check out an item in more detail. So what we can do is we can see the best it ever did and the worst it ever did. So with BSR, let's say there's 100,000 items within a category. Now the item at number 1 is going to be doing the best, the item at number 100,000 is going to be doing the worst. If we come to the highest point on this chart here, we can see that the BSR at 352, that is still a really good BSR. In the grand scheme of things, let's say there's 100,000 items within this category, being at 352 is so far away from 100,000 and a lot closer to 1 out of everything in the category. So this is still a really good item, and definitely not one to ignore if we were to go ahead with it. We can click on the buy box statistics to get a clearer view of which particular seller, if any, is dominating the buy box the most, and it looks like it is Amazon, and we could see that on the charts as well, where the buy box and Amazon lined up quite a lot. So here we can see the percentage of time that Amazon have won the buy box, and the other sellers as well. We can see if they're FBA or not, so it gives them a tick if they are FBA or Amazon. We can see their positive feedback percentage as well, and their review count. We can also see the last time when they won the buy box, so the last date and time when they won that and how long ago that was, so we know exactly what has been going on with the other sellers on the listing. We can change the day range as well, just to make sure that it's not a new thing. So we can see here Amazon have had it 95% of the time, the next seller down 2% of the time. And for 180 days, let's check out the information for this. Amazon 92% of the time as well. The next one down is 4% of the time. So ultimately, for the majority of time on this listing, Amazon have been dominating it, but that's not to say that this item is a complete lost cause. We can export this to a Google Sheets, check back on it at a later date if everything else seems to work out, and hopefully we can go for it then. We can also check out different averages for the item as well over the last 7 and 30 days, things like the FBA price, the Amazon price, the new price, the buy box price, the BSR average, and the new offer count, so how many sellers have join the listing and are selling this particular item. So what you're looking for here is consistency and nothing that is too different. If there is something that is very, very contrasting and very, very different, that's when we want to go back to the charts to check out more about the item, just to see what those inconsistencies are, what has changed on the item, and it can help us judge how reliable it is, and see if that is something that we can accommodate for if we're to join the listing, or if it is a problem and we want to stay away from it. But ultimately the charts are really, really useful, and now you get it all in your pocket on your phone. When you're doing retail arbitrage, just open it up, scan an item, and you get all of this wonderful information. So that is the charts in BuyBotGo. Hopefully that helps you out. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to info@buybotpro.com. Don't forget, using BuyBotGo is part of one of your 5 license activations. So if you use it, it will take up 1 space in your license activation. So just bear that in mind. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time.